All right, so we are now recording.
Recording started.
So, what I'm going to do, let me just share my screen with you first. All right, if you can see my screen, will you give me a green check real quick? Okay, very good. So, what we're looking at here, okay, is basically we want to know what it would do if we moved from one place to another, okay? So cost of living in Utah, let's just say Salt Lake. Oops, Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay. And it will tell you. Alright, this one says Park City actually. Okay. So it says if you were to move from here, right? Moving from Park City to another city. So let's do Honolulu, Hawaii, because everybody wants to live in Hawaii, right? That'd be pretty chill. I'd like that. Okay. So if you had that same thing here. Okay. Why is it not doing that? Oh, calculate living. Come on. Sometimes this doesn't work. Let's try this again. Let's say we're in Ivins. Oh, okay. So if we moved from Park City to Ivins, okay, this is what it would do, okay? So overall, it's less expensive to live in Ivins. So if you don't know where Ivins is, it's right outside of St. George. So if you're in Park Cities, so housing would be 6% less, utilities would be 6% less, transportation would actually be a little bit more because you live out in a little bit. But it kind of gives how much it is to rent, your phone bill, all that kind of stuff, medium house price, dentist visit, kind of gives you a lot of cool things here. Okay, so let's try something else here. Let's go Hawaii. And then we said Honolulu, so we're moving from Honolulu to Hawaii. And I think that calculated. Oh, there we go. All right. So, kind of interesting. The cost of living in... Oh, that still says Ivins. Come on. Sometimes this thing doesn't work too well. There we go. Okay, now we get to see it. Okay, so if we went from Park City, so it's going to cost 46% more to live in Hawaii. Housing would be 48%. Utilities would be 103% more. Groceries a lot more. Transportation. The median house price over there is over $500,000. To rent something over there is $1,600 or more, and you can see everything is up a lot. Okay, a loaf of bread is $5. Milk is $3. Carton of eggs is $2.75. A bunch of bananas is $5.11. So you can kind of see how much more expensive it is to live in Hawaii. So you can kind of play with that a little bit. It's kind of fun just to kind of see, and just wanted to throw that out there because you want to be able to know where to live in order to do that. Okay, I'm just hitting the chat up again. But nothing of them worked. Yeah. So what I had to do is you click the new one and then you have to click it again just on the city and then it pops up. So try that and see if that works. But it's kind of fun just to kind of say, okay, if I wanted to move to a certain place, is it going to be worth it, right? So you'd have to make more money. And that's basically what we're going to be talking about today. What we're going to talk about today is basically career impact on income. And so what you decide now is going to affect you of how much you're going to make as we're moving forward. Okay. So just to skip back a little bit, by the end of today, you should have completed quizzes 1.01, 1.02, 1.03, 2.05, 2.05, and then 3.0, 3.06 and 3.07. Somebody, it won't let me put in my city. It doesn't have all the cities listed, so you'd have to maybe do one that is close to your city. Yeah, because not all of them are on there. But it's kind of a good indicator. Well, you can do like Salt Lake if you live near close to Salt Lake. Just whatever the closest big city is what you'll have to put. Okay. All right. And this is what is coming up, and you will kind of be working on in the next couple days. Okay. All right. So career impact. Somebody said, so there is nothing in the class plan. Does that mean oh, there's really nothing in the class plan? It should show that there. Let me check that right after. But you should have today, you should be doing 3.08 and 3.09. And I think 3.010, what I just said just a second ago. Well, sorry, 3.06 and 3.07 is what's due today. Okay, so I will, if that's not updated, I'll update that. I apologize, I didn't really know that wasn't, so thanks for letting me know. Okay, very good. And I apologize if I get coughing. It's been a rough weekend sickness-wise. Alright, so we're going to answer some questions here. How does your career choice affect your income? Okay, what employment characteristics are important to an employer? How does education and training affect salary? Okay, and what is an entrepreneur? Okay, so that is some important stuff as you kind of move along here. Okay, so there's a thing called earning power. Okay, so basically, generally in our society, people with a higher education and more skills make more money than those that do not. So if you know things, if you know how to code, like on a computer, if you know how to do something that nobody else does, your value in the market's going to be a lot higher, and you're going to make more money. Okay, if you're able to give certain things, provide certain things. Okay, so somebody said hacking. Okay, yeah, they're actually like legitimate hackers out there that they do that for kind of almost cybersecurity kind of thing. So I would say yes, because that's something that nobody knows how to do. Okay, so like cybersecurity for sure. So this has been taken a while ago. Okay, this is back in 2005, but everything kind of holds true the way it is too. It may be a little bit more right now because the economy's gone up since 2005, but you got to see this, okay? The discrepancy that it is from education to income. So if you're a high school dropout, so if you're not going to graduate from high school, you're going to be making, I'm just going to round up to $20,000 a year, okay? If you have a high school diploma, $30,000 a year. So you get an extra $10,000 a year just for graduating from high school. That's why we try to push you guys all out to do that. Next one, you're going to make about $37,000, so $7,000 more for going to college for 2 more years, okay? Not that bad. Okay, a 4-year degree, there's another big, huge jump. Right now it's about $52,000, and this was back in 2005, so this is higher than that now. If you were to get some kind of a postgraduate degree, so meaning like your 4-year bachelor degree plus like 2 years or so onto it, you're going to be upwards of, around $70,000 a year. Okay, and so when we talked about the cost of living, right, and we looked at Hawaii real quick, so if you basically rent was like $1,600, right? Well, if you're making $19,000 a year, okay, you're not making very much. And let's see here. So if I said I made $20,000, okay, divide that by 12, that's $1,600 a month. So basically you can pay for rent and nothing else in Hawaii. Okay, so that's why it's so important to kind of get these, not necessarily a degree, but some type of skill that's going to be beneficial. Okay, so here is a little equation here that talks about earning power. Okay, so Jill has a new job at a car wash, making $7.20 an hour. She worked 42 hours this week and makes time and a half for over 40. What is her withholdings on 10%? Okay, so basically what they're saying here, right? If you go 40 hours, you times that by 0.7 or 7.2, so she makes $280 a week, or for that week, plus she gets time and a half, so let's say she roughly makes $300, but you get another $30 of that taken out for taxes and other things, so she's making $270 a week times 4.5, she's making $1,200 a month. Okay, so if you did that for a year, you're making about $15,000 a year, and you can't even pay for rent, right? Or anything like that. So she would have some type of job. So I'm assuming Jill doesn't have any more skills. And I'm not saying this is like a bad thing right now, but you don't want to work at a car wash your whole entire life. Maybe own the car wash. So there's some options there. Okay, can anybody tell me the difference you think between a career and a job? What's the difference between a career and a job? Would anybody type that in the chat for me real quick? Just say the difference between a career or a job. Okay, I got a couple people typing. Thank you. Can a career but a job be a career? Okay, so yeah, that's a good question, right? Can't it be the same? Wouldn't it be the same? So a career is something you stay at for a long period of time, right? So type of occupation. So let's say, okay, somebody said a career is what you want to do and a job is what you find to make money. Yeah, and I think that's really what it comes down to, right? If you do a career, you're planning to go into that area and you like it. You get to choose. A job is just something, well, I'm going to go work down the street to make some money. Okay. Could you help me figure out how hard it would be for me to live with the hours I work? Now with my pay I get. Also, a job is what you need to get close to a career. Okay, yeah. You can use a job as like stepping stones, like be a CNA and then work real hard, go to school, become a nurse, become a nurse practitioner, kind of up like that. I could help you kind of figure out. So like careers being the medical field. Let's say, hold on. So careers like being in the medical field, let's say you like that and you can get a job as a nurse. Yeah, kind of, but you need training, right, to get into that area. And usually careers, they pay what's called salary, and they have benefits. So benefits like healthcare, they give you options to get healthcare. Another thing with a career, as I said, salary. So you're going to make like $60,000 a year, and you get like 2 weeks vacation. You get some benefits like that. Yeah, so that's kind of what that would be like. But yeah, Samantha, sometime we can kind of help and see if we can figure out what you make right now. You could live on that. You might have to cut back on certain things too, so it is kind of hard as you're going through there. Okay, so some keys that employees want. So as I was saying, trying to make yourself marketable and make yourself be able to do things. Here's some things that you may need. Information management, okay, which is like technology. So being able to know how to work things, Since you guys are all doing online school, you should be fairly decent on the computer. Other basic skills, talking, being able to talk to people, interact, collaborate with people, thinking skills, interpersonal skills, resource management, how systems work, and be able to do that. So you'll need to know these things as you kind of work. And so that's what we try to prepare you for as we're working, through school. So why don't you guys give me a green check mark if you've had or do have a job right now? Okay, come on, you have to have more than that. You've had a job before, where somebody had to pay you a paycheck. It's always nice to get that paycheck in there, right? Okay, a couple. Why don't you tell me what kind of jobs you've had? What kind of jobs did you have? Okay, worked at Walmart as a personal shopper. Oh yeah, I think we talked about that. Awesome. You babysat for a whole week, got $100. Okay. Just one-time thing. Okay. Walmart prison job still. Okay. Got a couple Walmarts there. Very good. Mow my neighbor's yard. Okay. You can help clean with your mom, so you got to get some things like that. Okay. Has anybody ever had an interview before and had to be interviewed? I bet you at Walmart you had to be interviewed, right? Okay. Yeah, so some things you may want to think about if you're going to go in for an interview or something like that. Some common questions, tell me about yourself, okay? And you're going to have to talk to them. Tell me about education, skills you've had, previous jobs, what you're wanting, what's your goal, right? Some people want to hire, as you said, like stepping stones, as we talked about the medical field. CNA, why do you want to be a certified medical assistant? Well, I want to get my RN. Well, people like that because they know you're going to be dedicated in working there and stay there for a while. So that's something to think about as you're looking for employment. Okay, another thing is an entrepreneur. Okay, so some people don't deal well with working with others, right? I kind of have that sometimes. But couple things like a willingness to take risks, say. So an entrepreneur, like, you may not get paid 1 month, right? But the next month you may make a lot of money. Okay, a person who creates their own business from scratch, okay? You're self-employed. You have a strong sense of discipline because you got to know where to spend your money. Save your money if you're not going to get paid. You get to be your own boss, and you have to compete, right? You have to compete with other people that are out there. Okay, somebody said my mom owns her own accounting business. Fantastic. Yeah, and I'm sure it was really hard to kind of start out that practice and start getting it up. So that's very cool. So here's some things. There's some really good rewards, but there's some really bad risks, right? You got long hours. You have to assume your own things. There's no guarantees on anything that's going to come in. You have to keep the profits, right? So everything after that, after you pay your bills, is yours. You get to keep them. So kind of like mowing your lawn, right? I have a neighbor that 14 years old. The first thing he did when we moved into the house, he's like, "Hey, when do you want me to mow your lawn?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." Kind of a good business approach. But he gets to keep his profits, right? After he pays for gas and stuff. Okay, so let's go over briefly real quick, and I think we've talked about this before, the value of education. So we already looked at this, this thing, knowing the more education you get, on average, the more money you're going to make, okay? Now there's always I always have people say, well, my friend, they dropped out of school, but they're making millions of dollars now. You're like, yeah, but that doesn't always happen, okay? So the most likely for you to be able to make good, decent income is to get a little bit of education. And as I said, it doesn't have to be a specific degree. It can be a technical college. It can be some type of skill that you've learned over time. But you need to have some type of skill that employers want. So here's another thing that's really big. So unemployment rate. So this was back in 2009. And then this is how much they make per week, okay? Depending on degrees. So the highest amount of unemployment, we're talking about 2009, so this is where there's a recession and bad things are happening. Excuse me. 14.6% of the people that were unemployed, they had less than a high school diploma, okay? If you had a high school diploma, you still had other higher employment, some college but no degree. If you had a degree, you were like less likely to not have a job. A master's degree, more likely to have a job, and then it kind of goes up to other things like that. And then it also has their amount they make per week. So as you can see, if you get up here to some type of professional or doctorate, master's degree, you're going to make the most money up there. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that kind of leads us to the end there. Kind of abrupt ending, anyways. Any questions on what you want to, the course, or what you need to do now? Anything like that? I know some people had some questions for me in regards to coursework, so I'll stick around and talk to them. But if not, then you guys can take off and have a good rest of your day. Okay? All right. Okay, see ya. I see some of you leaving the room. All right, have a good day. Take care. And I'll get that that quiz that we were talking about for one of you. I'll get that for you. And I'll stick around for any questions or anything you have like that you might have.